Welcome back to the PMP Planning Process Group series. In the last two episodes, we covered everything from defining the project scope to estimating time and cost. Now it's time to make sure we're building a project that's not just on time and on budget, but also high in quality, well-staffed, and clearly communicated. Before we jump into today's processes, let's quickly recap where we are in the planning phase. In part 1, we looked at the big picture, planning scope, collecting requirements, and setting the timeline. Then, in part 2, we broke that down into actionable steps, defining tasks, sequencing them, and estimating costs. Now, in part 3, we shift gears and focus on crunching the numbers, keeping quality in check, organizing the people and communication, and preparing for surprises. Let's get into the next 6 planning processes. Determine budget. Now that we've estimated the cost of each activity, it's time to put it all together. In this step, we combine all those individual estimates into a total project budget. This gives us the financial baseline we'll use to track costs and make decisions throughout the project. You remember planning a vacation? You've already looked at flights, hotels, food, and attractions. Now, you pull it all into one final number, so you know how much to set aside and when you'll be spending it. So, what's the output? You walk away with a clear cost baseline, your official reference point for managing project expenses. All right, now that the budget's sorted, let's make sure the work we're doing is actually worth the price tag. Up next, we define what quality looks like, and that brings us to plan quality management. What does quality really mean? In simple terms, it's making sure the end result meets expectations. Plan quality management is where we define what good looks like for the project. We decide what standards need to be met, how we'll measure our results, and what steps we'll take if we fall short, how we'll make sure we hit them. Whether you're building a website or running an event, you don't want sloppy work or unhappy clients, right? This process is about setting the quality benchmarks up front so everyone knows what success looks like. And what do you walk away with? 2 things. A quality management plan, which outlines how you'll manage quality, and quality metrics, which define how you'll measure it. Planning a trip? This is when you say, only 4-star hotels, direct flights, and no soggy sandwiches. You're not just taking a trip, you're making it epic. Quality is your first surge of power. Now that our quality standards are in place, let's talk about the people and tools we'll need to get the job done. Plan resource management. Every project needs a team, not just people, but tools and equipment too. This step is about defining responsibilities, or simply put, deciding who's doing what, how the team will be organized, and how you'll keep everyone working smoothly together. It's like casting and organizing a crew for a film. You need more than just actors. At the end of this step, you'll have a solid plan for managing your resources and your team. That includes 2 things. The resource management plan, which explains how people, tools, and materials will be coordinated, and the team charter, which defines how the team will work together. Vacation style? It's knowing one person's booking the hotel, another's planning excursions, and someone else is in charge of snacks. It's team strength, and it gives your project serious muscle. Once we know how we'll manage the team, the next step is to figure out exactly what resources each task will need. Estimate activity resources. Here's where we zoom in a bit. For each task, we figure out exactly what resources are needed, like how many team members, what kind of equipment, or what materials we'll need. It helps us avoid the classic, oh wait, we don't have enough people for this. Think of planning a group trip. If you're hiking, you'll need the right number of guides, gear for everyone, and maybe even permits. You want to make sure no one shows up empty-handed. So, what's the output here? A clear list of all resources needed for each task, plus a visual breakdown of what's required overall. So, what are the outputs here? A clear list of all the resources needed for each task, known as resource requirements, plus a visual breakdown of what's required overall, called the Resource Breakdown Structure, RBS. Now that we've got our team and tools sorted out, let's make sure everyone stays informed and connected throughout the project. Plan communications management. Ever been on a team where no one knows what's going on? That's what this process aims to fix. We plan how updates will be shared, who needs to know what, and how often they need to know it. This keeps confusion low and teamwork high. In projects, this means choosing your communication channels, frequency, and methods for keeping everyone in the loop. By the end of this step, you've got a plan for keeping everyone informed and aligned. The plan is referred to as the Communications Management Plan. On a vacation, it's making sure everyone knows where to meet, what time the train leaves, and when dinner's happening. Communications Management Plan is all about clear, timely communication. With communication handled, it's time to prepare for the unexpected, because every project has its risks. And that brings us to plan risk management. Let's be real, things don't always go as planned. That's why we create a strategy for dealing with risks before something unexpected hits. In this step, we define how we'll identify risks, how we'll assess them, and how we'll respond. It's like setting up a strategy for managing risks before they cause trouble. The outcome here is a plan for how you'll handle risk from start to finish. And that's called the Risk Management Plan. On vacation, it's bringing a raincoat in case of storms, or a backup plan if the museum's closed. It's your shield against uncertainty. And just like that, Part 3 of our planning process group series is fully charged. We powered up your project with quality, teamwork, fast communication, and smart risk management. Next up, the final chapter, where your project's full power comes together. We'll unlock risk analysis, strategic alliances, and the final upgrades to take your project to the next level. Subscribe to stay tuned.
Ready to activate your project's full potential? Visit cltsolutions.ca or email us at info@cltsolutions.ca.